What would you do if you walked into a village only to find it completely deserted? Not a single soul, and everything left behind as though people just vanished. That's exactly what happened in 1930 near Anjikuni Lake in Canada. But why? Stick around because you're about to hear one of the most chilling stories that still baffles experts today. Now imagine this. Anjikuni Lake sits deep in Canada's northernmost territories, in a place so remote that very few people even know it exists. The temperatures can drop to minus 40 degrees Celsius, with snowstorms that come out of nowhere. This is a land of extremes, but the Inuit people who lived here knew how to thrive. They built their homes from the land itself, and despite the bitter cold, they made it work. Anjikuni Lake, surrounded by towering mountains and dense forests, is so isolated that it's hard to believe anyone could survive here. But the Inuit did, year after year, braving freezing temperatures and thick snow to thrive in the wilderness. Their lives were tied to the land, and they knew it better than anyone. But despite all their preparation, they vanished. And that's where the mystery begins. So it's 1930, and we meet a man named Joe LaBelle, a fur trapper making his usual rounds in the far-flung wilderness of Canada. He's far from civilization, navigating the freezing cold, thick snow, and brutal conditions that make this part of the world so inhospitable. LaBelle's been to Anjikuni Lake before, so he knows the area well. But what he's about to stumble upon that day is something no one could have ever expected. As he approaches the small Inuit village near the lake, he notices something strange. It's eerily quiet, too quiet. In a place that should be filled with activity, hunters, fishermen, children playing, there's nothing. No voices, no movement. It's like the whole place has just stopped. At first, LaBelle thinks it's just a strange feeling, maybe the cold messing with his head. But then he takes a closer look. There, lying untouched in the middle of the village, are the signs of a life left behind in a hurry. There's food hanging over fire pits, food that should have been cooking, simmering, or at least being prepared. But it's been left there, as if whoever had been cooking it suddenly vanished without a trace. He continues to explore the village, and that's when the strange discoveries keep piling up. There's clothing scattered around, unfinished garments with needles still in them. This is not the type of thing you leave behind if you're simply going on a quick errand. This is the kind of thing that makes you stop and question, what happened here? Label goes deeper into the village, and that's when he stumbles upon something even more unsettling. 7 dead sled dogs. These dogs, crucial for survival in such a remote area, should have been fed, cared for, kept alive. But instead, they're lying there, starved to death. And get this, despite the fact that there was food hanging over the fires, no one had bothered to feed the dogs. It's as though everyone just disappeared, without a sound, without any sign of struggle. But it doesn't end there. As LaBelle walks towards the edge of the village, he spots something even more bizarre, a recently disturbed grave. Someone had dug it up, but it wasn't just dug up. It was half finished. The stones that should have been securing it were scattered. What did this mean? Had someone been buried here and then, just as quickly, removed from the grave? Label is standing there in the middle of this ghost village, surrounded by evidence that something deeply strange has occurred. The food, the clothes, the sled dogs, and the grave all point to the same thing. Whatever happened to this village, it was not something that happened overnight. It was as if the villagers vanished in a flash, leaving everything behind as if they'd simply been wiped from existence. So LaBelle does what anyone would do in this situation. He reports his findings to the authorities. He tells them everything he's seen, the eerie silence, the untouched food, the dead dogs, and the disturbed graves. And this is where things get even more interesting. What happens next isn't just a simple case of an abandoned village. No, the story starts to take on a life of its own, because LaBelle's discovery doesn't just fade into the background. It sets the stage for one of the most bizarre and chilling mysteries Canada has ever seen. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police were called in to investigate, but they found nothing. No bodies, no signs of struggle, no footprints leading anywhere, just an empty village. They dismissed the whole thing as a local legend, A mysterious tale that had been blown out of proportion, but something about it didn't sit right with everyone. Could an entire village really vanish without a trace? Despite LaBelle's detailed report and the strange evidence left behind, the RCMP found no physical proof to suggest foul play. The mystery didn't add up. No one had seen or heard anything. No footprints, no signs of a struggle. The case was closed, at least officially. But here's the thing. Even though the RCMP dismissed it, the story spread. And soon enough, it gained the attention of the public, sparking imaginations everywhere. The story, with its strange elements and eerie details, began to feel like something more than a simple disappearance. People wanted answers, and the more they asked, the more the mystery deepened. So what could have happened? Was it a case of mass migration or something far darker? Were the villagers running from something? Or was there something far more mysterious at play here? Over the years, several theories have emerged to explain the disappearance of the villagers of Anjikuni Lake. Some of these theories are far-fetched, while others are a little more grounded in reality. Let's break them down. The most logical explanation is that the villagers left in a hurry. Perhaps harsh conditions forced them to move. Maybe they were seeking shelter from an impending storm, or perhaps food supplies had run out, and they had to find better hunting grounds. But the problem with this theory is that it doesn't explain why they left so abruptly, leaving behind everything. If they had planned to leave, why wouldn't they have taken their belongings? Why leave the food hanging over fire pits as if they were planning to return soon? Another theory is that the villagers were the victims of something more sinister, paranormal forces. Some believe that an ancient curse, or even ghostly forces, may have caused the villagers to disappear. After all, the area around Anjikuni Lake has long been shrouded in folklore. Could the villagers have been taken by some supernatural force that we can't understand? It's an unsettling thought, but for some, it's a possibility worth considering. Then there's the most sensational theory: alien abduction. Some believe that the villagers were taken by extraterrestrials, citing strange lights in the sky that were reportedly seen around the time of the disappearance. UFO enthusiasts argue that this is the most plausible explanation, but let's be honest, this is the theory that leaves the most questions unanswered. No matter what you believe, these theories all point to one thing. Something truly bizarre happened at Anjikuni Lake. Was it a case of mass migration, paranormal activity, or something out of this world? The truth is, we may never know. Even though the RCMP investigation was closed long ago, the mystery of Anjikuni Lake hasn't been forgotten. In fact, it has only grown in mystery and intrigue over the years. The story has been passed down, featured in books, documentaries, and online forums where people continue to discuss what could have happened. To this day, the legend still captivates those who come across it. Whether it's a tale told by the Inuit elders or a mystery that modern-day explorers try to unravel, the disappearance of the village remains one of Canada's greatest unsolved mysteries. Some believe that one day the truth will come out, but for now it's a story that still sparks curiosity, speculation, and disbelief. So what do you think happened to the village? Was it a sudden migration, a curse, or maybe something more mysterious? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Was this just a case of a community leaving in search of better land? Or is there something more to this tale? And if you want to dive into more crazy unsolved mysteries, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more. Until next time, stay curious and keep wondering. Because some stories, no matter how strange, are too intriguing to let go.